Hello and welcome to another edit diary for 24-hour movie marathon 7. Some pretty poor lighting going on, some disheveled hair. It's been a long process so far editing this marathon, but also finding the time to edit this marathon. If you'll recall, the first and only edit diary I've done so far, and it was planned to be like an ongoing series, but the first one I did was back in April. And we did the actual marathon itself back in January, which I think I've already mentioned in that previous video. But it's now been, what, May, June, July, August, September. It's been 6 months since that last edit diary, and the marathon is still not finished. Now, you may have seen I put up a trailer a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, which announced that the release date would be the 21st of October 2018, and I'm hoping to stick to that release date for a number of reasons. It's been the longest process so far in completing a marathon video, from actually doing the marathon to have the finished video at the end of it. Usually it's taken a few months, at most 4 to 5 months. Now we're looking at 9 months. And that's not because this is the most arduous marathon. This isn't because it's the one that's taken the most time in terms of actual man hours editing the thing. It's just that this year has been a very weird year for me. It still is a weird year for me. And so there's just been a lot of time where I haven't gotten to it. And as I mentioned before, just other things have cropped up along the way. I did that 50 Greatest Movies Ever series, which I shouldn't have done really, because I could have spent so much more time on the marathon. It would have been done by now. But also there's been a lot of cameos I've been trying to secure from certain people, and I've been waiting for those to come in. I now have everything, and I am almost done with the marathon section of the video. So I'm on the final movie that we watched, 14 movies in total this year. So it's been fun to kind of work through all that footage. I do enjoy it very much. I enjoy going back and forgetting things that we talked about, or jokes that we've made with each other and things like that. Finding images to use for each movie and so on and so forth. I'm about to now rip the Blu-ray of the last film we watched. I don't do that for every film, but if I have a Blu-ray and it's a film that I feel is an important one in the marathon, I want to get the best possible quality images and also the freedom to pick whatever image I want from the entire film, and I can kind of go through and take whatever I want. And so the final movie, I think, is the movie I'm going to think about the most when I think about this marathon. So I want to rip the Blu-ray, get the best possible screenshots I can, and then I'll finish that probably at some point today. And then I've got to go back and work on the intro, which isn't finished yet. I have everything for it. I just need to edit it all together, and there's a few more cameos I need to play around with, but for all intents and purposes, the marathon is nearly complete. So hitting the release date of next Sunday should be fairly doable, I think. But you know, again, I keep mentioning this, but going back to Marathon 2, Marathon 3, Marathon 4 and 5, even 6, I wasn't working full-time. Now I am working full-time. I'm working more than I've ever worked in my entire life. And so that's when you get the kind of come to Jesus meeting where you're like, okay, yeah, this is fairly time consuming. You know, like you get up in the morning, you go to work, you come home, you're tired, you have dinner, you know, you want to relax, and then you got to do some work on the marathon, and then already you got to go to bed and get up and do it all over again. So it's been tough finding those windows of, not opportunity, but windows of time where I feel like, okay, I can work on the marathon now and not, you know, do what I want to do. So yeah, and this is by no means a moaning video at all. You know, it's a great problem to have. You know, it's something I really enjoy doing. So that is something I you know, don't take for granted. You know, I enjoy doing it, but it's you know, finding the time has been difficult, to say the least. And there's been lots of challenges along the way. There's a certain cameo that runs pretty much throughout the entire video, which is something I've never done before. And this cameo is an interesting one. It's a special one. It's a different one. And the person who this cameo is, their kind of performance needs to be kind of tinkered with at times. And so there's been quite a few of their sections where I've had to use one take of something they say, but it doesn't sound the best. Like the other take sounded much better, but the facial expression wasn't as good. So I'm literally dubbing over lines at this point and then kind of stretching out the video ever so slightly so that it at least vaguely matches the mouth movement. So just all these little complex things I'm digging myself into, and I'll spend 5 to 10 minutes on just a transition from one clip to the next just to make it as, does it matter if my head turns just before it cuts to the next bit? Is that kind of a jarring thing? Should I cut it sooner? But then I need to fade the audio a little bit longer, and then there's me coughing from the end of the last clip, so I need to cut that out, but then the transition isn't as smooth. So I don't just lump the clips in sequence. I fret over these things and make these decisions, and so it's my own fault for trying to be a perfectionist about it, I guess. So before the marathon is released, I'll post another video talking about a few things. There's a few announcements to make for this year's marathon in terms of, well, you'll hear about that when you hear about it, but there'll be a very important announcement video going up probably at the beginning of next week, or this weekend even, perhaps. I'm going to wait till I finish the marathon until I make that video. And then hopefully next Sunday, you guys will all be able to see it, which I'm looking forward to. And I'm already looking ahead to Marathon 8. So it's an exciting time, and I'm now trying to figure out how to work in the special cameo into the video, because I'm still not decided on how I want to do that yet. So there's still a few more things I might film. And again, it's the ideas for this year's marathon as far as the extracurricular stuff has been very, very fluid, and I haven't been able to kind of grab it, and it doesn't feel solid, if that makes sense. In past years, I've had like very specific ideas of the cameos and the intro, how I want it to be. This year, not so much. It's all kind of just flowing as I do it, But anyway, so that's pretty much it. I mean, I could go into like the editing and stuff, but then you'll see what movies that we watched, and I for some strange reason I like to keep that secret so that you get surprised when you watch the video, which it's not a big deal, I suppose, but it's something that I like to kind of what's the word? Withhold the details of the movies we watch as much as possible, so that you can enjoy the video and not know what's coming next. So it's more of a variety in terms of the films we're talking about. Anyway, so near the end of editing now, and I wish I'd done these videos more, these edit diaries, because I could have gone into more details and stuff, but I don't know. Do I really need to do that? Probably not. So yeah, it's just one of those things where I never picked up the camera to do it, and it's been such a sporadic process of editing this thing, just bits and pieces here and there. It's been very uneven, so hopefully that doesn't reflect in the final video, but I guess you'll all be the judge of that when it comes out. So that's it for this, and I'm going to get back to editing the marathon after I edit this video and put it up, and hopefully I'll make it for the release date next week. I think I posted a trailer, which wasn't really a teaser more than anything, about 2 months ago. Then it said September, so I missed that deadline. And I also posted one way back, like 6 months ago, which said summer. So hopefully it's third time lucky on the announcement of when this thing will be coming out. I don't have to push it back to November or anything, but who knows? We'll see when we see, and look out for the announcement video, which will be the confirmation that it's done. And there's a few things I want you all to know before you watch this next marathon, so stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. And seeing what it's like now as an adult, and given the fact that I remember very little of the entire film. What?
I remember very little.
Little, I said, not little.
Sound like little.
Well, my English sounds more like English than yours half the time, so you shouldn't be correcting me. That's all I'm saying.
Well, it's your first language.
Is it though? Debatable.
Really?
What?
What other language do you know?
Welsh.
No, you don't.
I do.
I probably know more.
It is happening again.
Hello, Georgie.
It's alright by me. Apart from the fact he throws cans of Carlin into a tree. Yeah, he's really cool. Yeah, he's really cool. But he's not quite as cool as you.